Hello and good morning out there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hoops Talk. I'm your host, Mike DuPont. Thanks for following along whatever channel you might be watching, either on Instagram, following along at Mike Dup, on Facebook at Mike DuPont II, or on YouTube. Don't forget to like and subscribe at Mike is Kinda Funny. You know the routine. Let's just dive right in. Last night's hoops action. 4 teams in the Southwest in action. 2 of the 4 came away with victories as the Pelicans got a win over the Rockets. A double-digit win. The Grizzlies got a win over the Hornets. And the Mavericks, unfortunately, suffered a loss against the Lakers in a very rough and what I would categorize as scrappy game. I would love to hear from you as well, so don't forget to drop a line in the comments, however you might be following along, whether you're on Instagram, following along at Mike Dup, whether you're on Facebook at Mike DuPont II, whether you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe at Mike is Kinda Funny. Let me know what you thought about last night's games. My immediate reactions on Mavs versus Lakers is now we see this series. Now we see these 2 teams split their series as the Mavericks came away with the victory in the first matchup. Last night's win, LeBron James came away with 13 points, 13 assists. The significance of those 13 assists, he now becomes the 9th player in NBA history to total 9,000 career assists. Shout out to the Wash King. Shout out to King James himself for joining those 8 of the illustrious players. Now, aside from the 13 assists, are very not exactly what you would expect from LeBron in a night against the Mavericks, so to speak. Only 13 points. He was rough from the field. I believe he shot 4 for 13 from the field. Maybe just not able to find a rhythm throughout the night. Maybe more focused on getting other guys involved. Anthony Davis did lead the Lakers in scoring. I believe he had 27, 28 points. Rough night for the Mavericks as well. Not a typical night for Luka Doncic. Hey, guy can't be perfect every night, can he? He can't ask for perfection every night. Rough night for Luka Doncic out there. A rough shooting night. Not exactly what you would expect as far as filling out the stat sheet, but that's another thought I would love to hear from you in the comments. Is it getting to a point now where we're starting to become spoiled by the stats of Luka Doncic, where if we don't see 9 assists, 8 rebounds, we're wondering what type of performance it was. We're wondering what was missing, what was lacking. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Also, looking ahead to tonight's games, we've got a doubleheader on TNT. We've got 2 games. I'm sorry, TNT. We've got a doubleheader on NBA TV. Excuse me. Again, we've got a doubleheader on NBA TV. 2 games taking place tonight. I believe the first is going to be the Hawks versus the Magic. Atlanta versus Orlando is going to take place. That's going to be a 6 o'clock Central tip. And that'll be followed by, I believe, the Phoenix Suns and the Portland Trail Blazers. That'll be a 9 o'clock tip. So again, those 2 games tonight. Again, if you're following throughout the season, those are 2 games that you would expect to see on NBA TV. Those are not exactly stay up and watch type of games like last night for the Mavs and the Lakers. I would love to hear your thoughts on the Suns, how they've looked without DeAndre Ayton. They're not expected to have him back tonight either. Still dealing with the lingering effects of that sprained ankle. So we won't have a big versus big matchup tonight in DeAndre Ayton versus Hassan Whiteside. This would be a game that the Portland Trail Blazers would very much like to have under their belts. This would be a game that would be difficult to explain if they weren't able to come away with the victory. They are at home at the Moda Center tonight. So should be, all things considered, should be an opportunity for the Trailblazers to take advantage and maybe find a little bit more rhythm before we start looking ahead to the All-Star break and looking ahead to taking a week or 2 off. Looking at that first game, that Orlando-Atlanta game, my thoughts on that game going in, I would expect to see 20, 30, 40, maybe 40, 50 points from Trae Young. But how is that going to affect the Atlanta Hawks? Because what we've seen from Trae Young so far is the guy knows how to fill the stat. The guy can put the ball in the basket, but that hasn't directly correlated or translated to wins for the Atlanta Hawks. So are you making your team better? Are you making your teammates better? Is your production helping your team win basketball games? Right now, the answer is no. We're rooting for Trae Young. We would love to. He's an exciting point guard to follow, an exciting young point guard to follow. But if you're not winning games, how are you really helping your team? And that's a question that I'm posing to you out there as well in social media land. I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you're not helping your team win, are the points really empty? And I know some of you out there might be thinking of connecting the dots from that Trae Young argument, maybe to a guy like James Harden. I guess the difference between the two right now is the Rockets are a 4 seed and the Atlanta Hawks couldn't sniff the playoffs. They couldn't sniff the playoffs if they were within walking distance. They're struggling right now in a struggling Eastern Conference, and I don't see how they can turn it around right now at this point, because they've really dedicated much of their offense to Trae Young, and it's understandably so, because he's one of the few guys that they've got on their roster. He's one of the few guys that they got on their roster that can create his own shot. But at the same time, like I said, it is not we're not seeing the translation, the correlate. We're not seeing the victories right now. I would love to hear your thoughts. Again, feel free to share however you're following along on Instagram at Mike Dup, on Facebook at Mike DuPont II. Or if you're following along on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe at Mike Is Kinda Funny. Thanks to all the subscribers that have joined on the train, jumped on the wagon so far. We appreciate it. I believe we're up to 20 subscribers. Let's get to 21 by the end of the day. It's not that hard. Jump on YouTube real quick. Jump on Google, sign in. And head over to YouTube, like and subscribe to Mike Is Kinda Funny. Thanks so much. Have a blessed day.